Welcome to Kalamazoo and You. This is a program where we have conversations with City of Kalamazoo staff on important issues and topics in the City of Kalamazoo. I'm Mike Smith. I'm the Communication Manager for the City of Kalamazoo and your host. On this segment, we are talking about the Kalamazoo Foundation for Excellence and its impact on the City of Kalamazoo. And with us to talk about the Foundation for Excellence is Steve Brown. You are the Executive Director of the Foundation for Excellence. So welcome to the program.
Thanks, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about the Foundation for Excellence.
Great. A lot of people may have heard about the Foundation for Excellence, but they really don't know what the Foundation for Excellence is. So talk about what the FFE is and its impact on Kalamazoo.
Absolutely. The Foundation for Excellence is a unique nonprofit endowment that was created in 2017 with the mission of lowering the taxes, supporting the city's budget, and funding aspirational projects in the city. It came after years of economic challenges to both the community of Kalamazoo and the municipal government of the City of Kalamazoo. There was a blue ribbon panel convened in 2015 and 16 to look for ways to reduce the challenges that the community faced. And there were a few ideas that came forward. One of them was an income tax, for example. But ultimately, the best idea that was put forward was the idea of creating an endowment that could be invested and give earnings each year to the City of Kalamazoo. That's now what we call the Foundation for Excellence. So we have a mission of establishing a $500 million endowment, and then the earnings from those investments are paid to the city each year in order to have its impact with those funds.
You talked about the beginnings of the FFE in 2017. So what were some of the challenges that the FFE dealt with or was designed to deal with during that time?
So the city government itself as a municipal entity has struggled in what's called the broken municipal model of funding in the state of Michigan. So that means that certain dollars that are supposed to arrive to the city for its general fund budget don't arrive. And that's gone on for quite a few years. That creates a challenge because the city, in its need to cover capital investment, infrastructure, manage staff, do programming, can really get money in one of two ways otherwise, which is bond money, which is tax money, or then grant money would be the third way. The Foundation for Excellence revenue to the city is a grant. So what we pay in each year is considered a grant, as it would be from a private foundation or from the state of Michigan or the federal government. And now that the city has a stable municipal budget, it's able to do the programs and make the investments that are needed in order to not just keep the city where it is, but move it forward into the future so that you can grow and have greater prosperity for the next generations that are going to live in Kalamazoo.
So we're talking about investments. So where do these investments go?
Yeah, excellent question. The main areas that we fund are within the city's scope of activities. So we've spent, for example, $14 million on affordable housing. And so through the Community Planning and Economic Development Department, the foundation dollars are passed through to construction projects that create new affordable housing or rehabilitate old housing that was either insufficient or off the market. Those are very, very significant investments. And actually, we've learned in the last year that those tend to be leveraged 1 to 11. So for every dollar of FFE investment, there's $11 of other investments that are brought in and made possible for housing. So it's a very significant factor in, the buildings that people see going up around town and the improvement of affordable housing in the city. Another very large area of investment is youth development, and that's done primarily through the city's Parks and Recreation program. So many people would be familiar at this point with the Super Rec program, which is done in core neighborhood parks. So that's an all-summer drop-in program that's free for users and really helps working families, especially in those summer months, and creates great extracurricular activity for young people. Other major areas of investment are going to be economic development, so small business grants and loans for home-based businesses and people just getting started. We've done significant funding during the COVID pandemic, which was small business supports and supports to remote learners in the schools. And beyond that, there's a whole host of programs in that aspirational category, which now total approximately $70 million since we were founded in 2017. For more information, I really encourage viewers to go to the Foundation for Excellence website. And the simple way is to just Google or use your favorite web browser for Kalamazoo Foundation for Excellence. And on our website, we have what's called the investment map. And that is a unique interactive resource where you can click on neighborhoods in the city of Kalamazoo, and you can also click on Imagine Kalamazoo goals to see where the investments have taken place over the past approximately 7 or 8 years now. And that's really good detailed information so that if you want to see what's been invested, for example, in the Northside neighborhood or the Vine neighborhood, or you want to see what's been invested in the areas of youth development or in the areas of parks improvements, all that information in actual dollars and cents is right there at your fingertips. Similarly for the tax reduction. If people are interested to see the tax reduction that has been made in any of the given neighborhoods in the city for any of the different property types, like industrial, residential, you can click on the neighborhood to get that information. That's available, 24/7 on your smartphone, on your computer, and we make that available as hopefully a very powerful tool for people to have a transparent view of what FFE funds with the city of Kalamazoo.
And they can go to the City of Kalamazoo website as well.
And link
Yeah,
through
and link
there.
through there.
Sure, yep.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
Now, the City of Kalamazoo is preparing for its next city budget.
Mm-hmm.
So, what impact does the FFE have on the city budget and preparations for the city budget?
There's a great opportunity to talk about the tax reduction. So the former tax rate in the city of Kalamazoo for all taxpayers was going to, as a base rate, was going to be about 19 mils. A mil, just to be technical for a moment, is $1 per $1,000 of taxable value. So if a building's taxable value was $1,000, you would have had $19 of tax. The FFE, made it possible to lower that tax rate to 12. So instead of paying $19, you pay $12. And we do that by the city lowers the tax rate to every payer, and then Foundation for Excellence makes the city whole. So we pay that difference between the old tax rate and the new tax rate. That's really important because what we're trying to do is retain and attract individuals and businesses in the city of Kalamazoo. For one, to make sure that we have a stable and, if possible, growing population, but also a stable and, if possible, growing tax base, because that's the revenue that allows the city to provide services to its residents. So part of our budget every year is that payment to the city for tax reduction. We also make that payment to the city for budget stabilization, which I already described. And then we make the grant to the city for its chosen aspirational projects. And this year, so coming forward in 2026, the aspirational grant is just over $5 million. And that is reflected publicly in our records and also in the city's budget, and is going to be in those areas of youth development, economic development. There's $1.7 million just for affordable housing, $2.3 million total if you really consider the other emergency sheltering and construction rehab projects in that housing area. So really important work that the city would not have resources to do otherwise. So we're able to give unique opportunities to the city to do work that it historically has not been able to do, and without the FFE would not be able to do.
So where would the City of Kalamazoo be without the FFE?
The city would not have the resources that we provide. To date, since 2017, the FFE has invested approximately $225 million into the city of Kalamazoo in those three areas. So these are dollars that make projects possible, that make capital investment possible, that make the tax break possible. And for one example, any new sidewalk that you see around town, that's been supported by the city of Kalamazoo, funded by FFE. When you see trees being trimmed in the curb lawn, a huge amount of that's been supported by FFE. All the new trees planted have been FFE. These are very, very visible things. But there's things that are not quite as visible. We were very supportive early on of lead service removal from houses and from the drinking water system. We have supported hundreds of small businesses through individual grants and loans, which may show up in your shopping trip because you're at a business that we've helped get started or move from a home to a business, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're at that point of sale knowing that it's an FFE funded program. So we're really pervasive throughout the community in the projects that we funded and made possible um, through the City of Kalamazoo and its partners.
You know, a lot of cities and municipalities would gladly welcome a structure like the Foundation for Excellence. Would you agree?
I would agree. It's a unique model that is made possible through transformative generosity from donors in Kalamazoo. A community that's able to marshal those resources would be, I think, well advised to look into the Foundation for Excellence as a model. We create a tremendous amount of financial resource capacity that goes above and beyond our fantastic local Kalamazoo Community Foundation, our fantastic other local private foundations that do really great work in the city. But we focus on giving resources to the City of Kalamazoo itself. And because of that, there's a focus on programs that only the municipal government can do and that have it as a core focus. And again, those are going to be infrastructure, leveraging our park system for youth programs, the affordable housing opportunities that are created through our planning department. And those are really exciting because so many aspects of working in a community to improve that community touch on or go through the city. And so we're just creating a really significant amount of capacity and creativity and innovation at the city that otherwise couldn't be there.
What would you want everyone to know about the importance of the Kalamazoo Foundation for Excellence and why it's so important to this community?
Our mission is to make it possible for everyone in Kalamazoo to have the lives that they want for themselves and their families. And our major focus overall is on poverty reduction and on investment in the city itself. So we really hope that people see a vibrancy and a new dynamism in Kalamazoo that they may not have seen 10 years ago, that there's a new hopefulness, and that when they look at the foundation itself, they see it as an organization that's transparent, that's open, that's responsive to the city, and that the city, by enacting the Imagine Kalamazoo 2025 and 2035 strategic vision and master plan, is doing the work that the people of the community are asking for in partnership with the people in the community, so that, you know, as we move forward together, and we're making the investments that we really need, again, so people can have the lives that they want for themselves and their families.
Okay. Steve Brown, you're the Executive Director of the Kalamazoo Foundation for Excellence. So we thank you for being here on the program to talk about the importance of the FFE.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
Okay, and that ends our segment. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.